I think begins with an awareness, and we all need to be aware that there is still racial injustice being committed around the world today. Another social justice issue we need to be aware of is the issue of class.
So we've talked about gender, age, race, and now we're going to talk about social injustice or stereotype genre that isn't really talked about a lot, but it's very prevalent. It's in every country in the world. Most of you have, if you think about it, we'll actually be able to think of an instance of this, but it's class. And most of that's based off the economic situation of a person. So I'm from India, and I'll talk about how it is in India, just so we can get some world affairs in the world affairs seminar. So we have a thing called the caste system. It's a really famous example of class distinction, but it's really unfair because it's random assorting of people based off of who their mom and dad are. And if you keep on going back in history, like generation by generation, it started off randomly. It just said, hey, you're a lower class, you're an upper class. And lower class and upper class are untouchables, which are literally untouchables. You aren't supposed to go near them, marry them, or anything with them. They're just supposed to be doing the dirty jobs, and then you have...
I think it really went well. I think all of us really came together in the video especially and really had a fun time with it. Maybe the video was great and everybody laughed at it, but I think that the experience during the video was probably the best part personally for me, and I don't know about anybody else with that, but it was really fun making the video especially.
And I enjoyed how our video was sort of humorous. Since our audience was in the audience for 3+ hours, they're lacking interest at the moment. So then we reeled them in with the humorous part, and then afterwards we did speeches that were very impactful and very serious. So I think that was a very good mix of the two.
All right, well, honestly, the video, like TJ said, was probably the most fun that we've ever had together, and just like sitting in the group and like discussing it, like how are we gonna do this, and like all the great ideas that we all had and contributed, and just creating the video together. It was just a great time to meet all these new people.
I'd probably agree that, while there was a lot of amazing things we've done this week, the whole group environment, the first night I got here, I was really tired and so on, so I didn't really get to pay attention to the group that much. And then the next morning when I came in, I was like, wow, I have awesome people in my group. I'm really friggin' lucky. Don't worry, Alex. I'll give you a new pair of shoes. And it was just, and the week, as the week went on, how well that we worked as a group and as a team, deciding things. I believe it was, it's just spot on. We debated over what song to choose for the video or how to make it, and it was just really flowed. A lot of synergy. It was really awesome.
With each activity that we participated in, our group got closer as a whole, and I just feel like we're just a close group, and it wouldn't have been possible if we didn't have this awesome counselor. She really brought us together. She led a great example, and we were really efficient with her. We finished our project really quick, so then we got to do the fun stuff afterwards, and we got to listen to, we had a deal that if we finished it, when we finished it, she would rap for us, freestyle rap, and that was our motivation to go, and that was the best moment.
I must say, I was kind of nervous coming here. I was like, I look kind of young for my age, and I have to be a counselor, and they're going to think I'm a delegate, and what is going to happen? And as soon as we all met on the first night, I was just overcome and overwhelmed at, the younger people coming up, and you guys are going to do great, awesome things. And I was just so proud at how, so many different backgrounds and so many different people and cultures and societies that we're all coming from, and yet at the same time, we came together, we made an awesome project, and we're getting to, lead, and I'm really proud of you guys, and I'm just so fortunate that I got put with all you lovely, wonderful people. So.
I would probably want to thank Carrie Silverstein because he really, just his presentation really got to me because I was looking up at the screen and what he was saying, and it was like, that's actually true. You don't think about it, but that's actually a true fact, and it was just kind of interesting to me.
I really like to thank Eric Plattenberg. He was this last speaker for us, and I think that out of all the speakers, he really focused on us as people rather than people going on to the future. It was us and what we're focusing on personally for ourselves, and it really motivated not only us, to do better in life, but to excel and to think more about doing better in life rather than what we're doing right now, going through high school and on to college, looking to the future with our dreams, and I really got to thank him for that.
I'd really like to thank Sahar because she shared a really tragic experience with us, and I don't think a lot of people could do that, especially with her family background. So I just really like to thank her for sharing that because not everybody gets that experience of hearing that.
I feel similar to TJ in the sense that, throughout the whole week, I got to hear a lot of awesome people speak about topics that, I really haven't heard necessarily a lot about, especially from speakers in person. But, at the end of the week when it came to it, and I was like, there were a couple of speakers that I wanted to speak to afterwards, and I did one of them. And then when Eric came up, Plattenberg, I was like, all right, let's see how this is. And I had forgotten that he only had an hour to speak. And at the end, the entire audience was like, no, don't leave. So we extended the time period so we could hear more. That was the first time that in the audience, I was like, I want to continue this. And it was an amazing presentation. And his message wasn't necessarily such a tragic experience, but it carried a lot of personal weight, a lot of stuff that I could use, today or tomorrow or the next 5 minutes. And I found that really interesting. That the last speaker carried the most, and he just really conveyed a message of difference and mind-changing thought.
Just as a concluder, I'd really like to thank Greg Wanschneider for being such the humble person that he is. He's such a wonderful person, and I mean, he may be much more, well known around here, and he may be much more frequent around here, but he continues to be a wonderful person. And I just met him, and I already know how much of a wonderful person he is, and I just got to thank him for being that person who he is.
And I know this isn't a speaker, but I really like to thank the nurses. They know it. Yeah, they know what they did.